and I am here reporting for you today for Rappler. We are at the Mall of Asia Arena on this Sunday, where a few moments from now we are going to have the latest chapter in the growing heated rivalry in the Battle of Katipunan, the Ateneo de Manila Blue Eagles versus the University of the Philippines Fighting Maroons. Now, take note, this is a rematch from last year's UAAP Season 84 finals, a final series that went all the way to Game 3 and required overtime to declare a winner. This is the first matchup between both teams since that heated encounter. Now, it's important to note, as we move forward to this match, the next chapter, that there are some new key pieces for both teams playing a bigger role and some key departures. Let's start with the University of the Philippines. Gone are Richie Rivero and CJ Cancino and Noah Webb, veterans of the team from last season. Richie, of course, is now playing professional basketball in Taiwan. Noah has graduated while CJ is sitting this season out as he recovers from an ACL injury. Let's move on over to Ateneo. Rafi Verano, the veteran, has moved on to the next stage of his career. Gian Mamuyak is now in the PBA. Same for Tyler Teo. Who has taken over for the Blue Eagles then? The main guy who has stepped up is Fortsky Padregao. Now, last Sunday in Ateneo versus LaSalle, Fortsky didn't have a good game. He shot the ball bad, but he made up for it in Ateneo's next encounter against UST a few days later. Ange Kwame is still playing at the top of his game despite not exactly being 100% healthy, and you still have a supporting cast led by the likes of Dave Ildefonso, Kai Balungay, Paul Garcia, and other players willing to step up. Now, UP, let's just say they've been playing with fire so far as the season has started in their championship defense. They won their first 3 games, doing so despite trailing in the second quarter of each game, using a third period rally to come back and win. However, that formula did not quite work in UP's last game a few days ago against the NU Bulldogs. A surprise NU Bulldogs, we should say. The same Bulldogs who are now tied with UP and Ateneo for the lead of the standings. UP, will they get off to another slow start? Will they trail Ateneo behind, or will they impose their will early like they did in those finals matchups last season? That's one of the key factors to consider. Now, let's take a look at some key stats entering this game so far, depending on how both teams have performed in UAAP Season 85. Ateneo is second in points allowed. That means in terms of the points scored by their opponents, they're only allowing 68 per game, which ranks second best in the UAAP. UP, on the other hand, is ranked second to last, allowing 73.5 points per game. Now, you might say that 5.5 points isn't quite a lot, especially if you're talking about basketball. That's like 2 3-pointers essentially, right? But in college basketball, where the ebbs and the flows of the game varies as each possession goes by, that could be a big factor in determining overtime or a win or a loss. Now, let's take a look at some more stats. Ateneo leads the league in points in the paint at 34. That's partly because of Ange Kwame's dominance, but also because they are a great offensive rebounding team. Also because Kai Balungay has started playing well, started scoring more in the paint. And that's because Ateneo has quite a number of floor spreaders who can hit from deep, like Fortsky, like BJ Andrade, like Dave Ildefonso from time to time, which opens up the lane for the Blue Eagles to score inside and near the rim. So that's something UP will have to counter if they want to win today's game. Another key stat, UP on the other hand is second in the UAAP when it comes to 3-point percentage at 31%, just right behind the UE Red Warriors who won today's first game against UST. So, will UP be a little hit or miss depending on how they perform from outside? They could be. So far, it's helped them, but there have been some games where it hasn't been helpful too. We noted how UP, the Fighting Maroons, lost their last game against NU. That's partly because of a few missed 3-point shots late in the fourth quarter. Will UP rely on the 3-point game, or will they try to attack the interior of Ateneo, knowing that Kwame is there to protect the rim? Now let's take a look at some more stats. Turnovers. Ateneo is averaging only 16 turnovers a game. They do a good job of protecting the ball, they run their offense smoothly, and they try to limit the mistakes that can beat themselves. UP now is last in the UAAP in turnovers, averaging 24.5 turnovers a game. Just in their game against NU a few days ago, UP turned the ball over 26 times, which was one of the biggest factor, if not the biggest factor, that led to the Bulldogs getting easy points and defeating the defending champions. It goes without saying that UP cannot be careless with the ball against an Ateneo team that can be dangerous on the break. This is an Ateneo squad with Balungay, with Ildefonso, with Kwame. So there's a lot of size and length that could really take advantage of UP's mistakes if UP shoots itself in the foot. Let's take a look at the last key statistic here. Actually, second to last, Ateneo leads the league in second chance points. We saw this in particular last Sunday when they went up against LaSalle and dominated in the rebounding. That didn't quite help them last Sunday, but if they can do that again, they will put themselves in a good position to prevail in today's contest. UP is second in the UAAP when it comes to bench points. The UP bench, which features guys like Harold Alarcon and Zave Lucero, are averaging 33.25 points a game. So, UP's first unit is good. They have Malik Diouf, they have Terence Fortea, they have Carl Tamayo. And even when those guys take a breather, you got other guys coming in. And that goes to show how deep this Fighting Maroons roster is and how that depth is one of their strongest traits as they aim to win back-to-back championships in the same calendar year. Ateneo, on the other hand, is last in bench points. They're averaging only 19 bench points a game. They have a strong starting unit, but so far, the bench, particularly the backup center and backup point guard positions, are problematic. Can the Blue Eagles solve that today against UP's second unit, which will be as explosive as their first unit? This time around, it's also different. Last season, the last few seasons, whenever Ateneo and UP would go head-to-head, the Blue Eagles were the hunted, the Fighting Maroons were the hunters. That script is now reversed. UP has the X on their back. It's now Ateneo that comes in as the hungry team looking to reclaim their glory. This rivalry has grown steadily with intense matchups, interesting superstars, star power, passionate crowds, and just everything else that makes college basketball so special and so entertaining to watch. There's no doubt, as the MOA Arena is now starting to get crowded with people now coming in, that today's game should be exactly the same. Intensity, passion, entertainment, and good old-fashioned basketball. For Rappler, this is Naveen Ganglani. We'll catch you after the game.